Well, it's finally been warm enough we can get back out here to working on that 92 KX250 revival. Big thank you to Duffs Powersports. They hooked it up, got some parts in we need to get the bike together and running. Not all of it, but enough to get it put in the bike and maybe run it through some gears. I got a brake lever, chain, wrist pin bearing we needed to get the top end together, new air filter, and FMF exhaust packing for the silencer. So if you guys need any new used parts, hit up Duffs Powersports. I'll attach a link in the description below, and he'll be able to get you going, get you back out on trail. Okay, so first things first, we're going to get this clutch cover on so the bottom end is finished up, and then we can start putting together our top end. One of the dowel pins for the cover stayed in the cover, and one is on the bottom end. Make sure you get those lined up. Get the right size T-handle. Alright, so we'll start, get this wrist pin bearing dipped in some oil. Still using that same TEM-W40 from the clutch video. I haven't run out of it yet. We got that on there. Slide our base gasket down, you'll see two bigger holes. Those are for your dowel pins. That's set down. So one of the other things I've learned is never put the gap in like that, straight up and down. As the piston goes up and down in the cylinder, what's likely to happen is these things will close like that and pop out. I have seen it happen. Nothing I've rebuilt, but let's get one end in there. Push it in. That's all it takes. So now with this, you get an arrow on the top of the piston that points towards the exhaust side of the engine. Put a little oil on your wrist pin. And then just slide it all together. Just like that. Now what you want to do is get your other wrist pin clip in. Same on that side. Put this guy towards the top or bottom, whichever. Just as long as it's not vertical. Whew. We just barely made out on that one. Alright, so now we got our cylinder all oiled up. We're going to take these rings, get them lined up with their grooves, compress them by hand, set this cylinder on here. Now the base of the cylinder is slightly tapered to help get the rings in there. A little shimmy. Alright, so as you can see, we got our piston top dead center in the bore. Arrow is facing the exhaust port. I got our base nut started on there. So you can really only get onto two of these with a regular torque wrench and socket. The front ones, as you can see, you're not getting a torque wrench on them. One thing I would like to mention as you're tightening up these base nut gaskets, try and get a torque pattern in. You don't want to tighten up this one all the way and then tighten up this way. It's a good way to mess up your gasket, and it's just not good for it. Alright guys, so we got our nuts on there as tight as I can get them. Head sucked down even. As you can see, there's no gap either which way. So we're good there. Now that we got that sucked down, we can put our head on. I'm not going to tighten up those base gasket nuts completely because it is hard to do out on the bench. Once we get the motor set in the bike, I'll go back through and I'll tighten all that stuff up. You guys might be wondering why I'm using a razor blade to clean this stuff up. Not something abrasive. This is just aluminum. You really don't want to get digging in there with one of them little 3-inch air grinder cookie discs. You could take material off, warp your head, and that wouldn't. Alright guys, so we went ahead, got our engine all together. Top end's done, clutch cover gasket's in. When I first bought this bike, I just put everything on it to mock it up, see what was there, see what wasn't there, see what I needed. So I'm gonna go ahead, put you guys in a time lapse. We're gonna strip this thing down and get ready to put the engine in. See, we got the bike pretty well stripped down, perfect to get the motor in. We got the swing arm bolt just barely in there, just enough to hold everything. All right, you guys, so tough break on the KX. I only have one lower motor mount bolt. I've got the upper motor mount bolts that go to the head, and I've got the swing arm bolt. So we're going to have to put it in. We're going to be missing a motor mount for now. I cannot get the bike running today because I don't have the CDI yet for it. I had to order one. So we're gonna go slap this motor in and we'll go from there. So I actually took the spark plug out for ease of setting this thing in here. I'm gonna go ahead and get these set in here to get the lower motor mounts lined up, and we'll be on our way. This pipe is clean, but as you can hear, it is full of stuff. So somehow, I'm gonna have to figure out getting this stuff out of this pipe. Let's see if we can shake it out. Alright, you guys, so that's all that was in there. Acorns, a little nest. So I guess we evicted a poor little mouse. go through, look at what I need for next time to get this thing started. And next time you guys see me, we'll probably be flipping the reed pedals, cleaning the carb, getting the radiators and coolant in it. And hopefully by then we'll have our CDI and we'll be able to hear this thing run. I want to give a huge shout out to the channel sponsor, Duffs Powersports. Again, link is in the description. We've got some cool things coming. I'm not gonna spoil it, Quadzilla, but yeah, for now, you guys have a good day.